A teacher bought shoes for a poor student. The principal fired her. Then a billionaire called. You fired her for helping a student? Shame on you. Emily, a dedicated teacher, noticed that one of her students, Tommy, had been wearing the same worn-out shoes for weeks. Without hesitation, she bought him a new pair. But this simple act of kindness cost her the job she loved. Just 2 days later, a mysterious phone call would change her life forever. Hi everyone, welcome to Life Story today. Emily loved her job as a teacher. She had always wanted to make a difference in children's lives. She worked at a small school in her town, where many of the students came from low-income families. This school was not like others. It was often overlooked, and resources were always limited. But Emily knew how important her role was. She believed that every child deserved a chance to succeed, no matter their background. One day, as she was preparing her class for the morning, she noticed Tommy sitting quietly at his desk. He wasn't his usual cheerful self. Emily knew something was wrong. She walked over to him and gently asked if he was okay. Tommy looked down at his shoes. They were old, with holes, and his socks were peeking through. He tried to hide them, but Emily had already seen. Later that afternoon, when all the children had left, Emily thought about Tommy's shoes. She couldn't stop thinking about how he must have felt, embarrassed and uncomfortable. She knew his family was struggling financially, and she wanted to help in any way she could. That evening, on her way home, Emily stopped at a shoe store and bought a new pair for Tommy. It wasn't much, but she hoped it would make a difference. The next day, she quietly gave Tommy the shoes before class started. His eyes lit up with joy, and he smiled for the first time in days. He thanked her softly, and Emily felt a warmth in her heart. But what Emily didn't know was that her kind gesture would not go unnoticed. And soon something she could never have imagined would happen. A few days after Emily gave Tommy the new shoes, she was called into the principal's office. She had no idea what it was about. As she entered the room, she noticed the principal, Mr. Davidson, sitting behind his desk with a serious look on his face. Emily sat down, feeling a bit nervous. Emily, Mr. Davidson began, I've been informed that you purchased a pair of shoes for one of your students. Is that true? Emily nodded. Yes, I bought Tommy some shoes because his were falling apart. I just wanted to help. Mr. Davidson sighed and leaned back in his chair. While I understand your intentions, you've broken the school's policy. We cannot have teachers giving personal gifts to students. It creates problems, and we must remain fair to everyone. I'm sorry, but this is a serious issue. Emily felt her heart sink. She had never imagined that something as simple as buying shoes could be wrong. She explained how she only wanted to make Tommy feel comfortable, but the principal's face remained stern. I understand your heart was in the right place, he said, but we have to follow the rules. Unfortunately, this is a serious violation, and the school board has decided to take action. Emily's hands trembled. What kind of action? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Davidson looked at her sadly. Emily, I have no choice but to let you go. Those words hit her like a heavy blow. Fired for helping a student? Emily couldn't believe what she was hearing. She had always given her best to the school, and now, because of one small act of kindness, her career was over. As she packed her things that day, she couldn't help but feel a deep sense of injustice. She had lost her job, but more than that, she felt lost herself. Was it wrong to care? Was it wrong to help someone in need? Emily returned home that evening, unsure of what to do next. The job had meant everything to her. Without it, she felt empty. She tried to hold back her tears, but they fell anyway. She had always believed in doing the right thing, but now she was being punished for it. Little did she know that this was just the beginning of her story. The next morning, Emily woke up feeling unsure of her future. She had always been a teacher. It was more than just a job to her. It was her passion. Now, with that taken away, she didn't know what she would do next. As she sipped her coffee and stared out the window, her phone suddenly rang. A group of eager faces at a community center. Children from different backgrounds gathered together as part of the program run by Jonathan Reeves Foundation. Emily couldn't believe how much her life had changed in such a short time. The foundation had given her the tools and support to bring her passion for teaching and helping children to a whole new level. She now had access to resources she could have only dreamed of at her previous school. The foundation provided everything from school supplies to extracurricular programs, ensuring that every child had the chance to succeed. Emily's first project involved creating a mentorship program for underprivileged children. She worked closely with local teachers, parents, and volunteers, creating a safe and encouraging environment for learning and growth. One of her proudest moments was when she spotted Tommy among the children at the center, wearing his new shoes and beaming with confidence. "Miss Emily," Tommy called out as he ran to hug her. "Look, I've made so many new friends here." Emily knelt down, her heart swelling with joy. "I'm so proud of you, Tommy. Keep being amazing." Word of Emily's work with the foundation began to spread. Local newspapers ran stories about the impact she was making, and her story of being fired for helping a student resonated with readers far and wide. People reached out to offer support, and donations poured into the foundation, allowing Emily and her team to expand their efforts. One day, Jonathan invited Emily to a gala organized by the foundation. She was nervous. She had never been to such a high-profile event, but Jonathan assured her that she belonged there. During the gala, Jonathan introduced Emily to the audience, sharing her story of resilience and compassion. "Emily is proof that kindness can change the world," he said. "Her courage to stand up for what's right, even in the face of adversity, inspires us all." The room erupted in applause as Emily stepped onto the stage, overwhelmed by the recognition. She took a deep breath before speaking. "I never imagined that one small act could lead to this," she began. "Helping Tommy wasn't about breaking rules. It was about showing him that someone cared. And now, thanks to this foundation, I can continue to show so many more children that they matter." By the end of the evening, Emily had not only gained the admiration of countless attendees, but also secured additional funding for her programs. She realized that her journey was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. As the months went by, Emily continued to thrive in her new role. She traveled to different communities, sharing her story and implementing new initiatives to support children in need. Each success reminded her of why she became a teacher in the first place. One day, as she sat in her office reviewing plans for an upcoming project, her phone buzzed with a message. It was from Tommy's mother. "Miss Emily, I just wanted to thank you again. Tommy talks about you every day. He says you're his hero." Emily smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. She replied, "Tell Tommy he's my hero too." Looking out the window, Emily felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Losing her job had been devastating, but it had also been the catalyst for a new chapter, one filled with purpose, hope, and the opportunity to make a difference on a scale she had never imagined. In the end, Emily realized that life had a way of turning challenges into blessings. Her simple act of kindness had not only changed Tommy's life, but had also transformed her own, proving that sometimes the smallest gestures have the greatest impact. A large modern building stood before her, its design sleek yet inviting. This was the headquarters of the Jonathan Reeves Foundation, a place that felt vast but warm as Emily stepped through its grand doors. The journey that brought her here felt surreal, a transformation from a quiet classroom to a national platform for helping children in need. Inside, Emily was welcomed by a friendly team, each person radiating the same passion for making a difference that she carried in her heart. Jonathan had already set everything in motion for her to join the foundation's initiatives. Soon, she was part of a dedicated group working tirelessly on projects that supported underprivileged children across the country. This was more than she had ever dreamed of. No longer confined to the limits of her classroom, Emily now had the opportunity to touch the lives of countless children. One sunny afternoon, as Emily sat at her desk reviewing reports, an email notification popped up. It was from Jonathan. He invited her to lunch at a downtown cafe, saying he wanted to discuss a new project. Curious and excited, Emily eagerly accepted. The cafe was cozy, bustling with life. Sitting across from Jonathan, Emily noticed the genuine warmth in his demeanor. He smiled and said, "Emily, I've been so impressed with the work you've done since joining us. I knew you were the right person for this job. Emily felt a rush of gratitude. Thank you, she replied. It's been such an incredible experience. I still can't believe how much my life has changed. Jonathan leaned forward slightly, his expression earnest. I wanted to discuss something special. You've inspired me with your dedication to helping children. I'd like to start a new program in your name, something that captures the essence of your kindness and compassion. Emily blinked in surprise. A program in my name? Yes, Jonathan said, nodding. A scholarship fund. It won't just provide shoes, it'll include clothing, school supplies, and support for children in need across the country. We'll call it Emily's Heart Fund. It will honor the spirit of what you did for Tommy and extend that impact to many more children. Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. She was overwhelmed. The act of kindness that had cost her so much was now blossoming into something so profound. I don't know what to say, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. This is beyond anything I ever imagined. Jonathan smiled gently. You deserve it, Emily. The world needs more people like you. This is just the beginning. Over the next month, Emily's Heart Fund came to life. The scholarship fund quickly gained momentum, reaching countless children across the nation. Emily found herself busier than ever, coordinating with schools, communities, and donors. Each new success story filled her with a renewed sense of purpose. What had started as a simple act of kindness had grown into a nationwide movement, proving that even small gestures can ripple outward to create monumental change. The opening ceremony of Emily's Heart Fund was a day to remember. Standing on a stage before a crowd of supporters, Emily saw the faces of children who would benefit from the program. Their bright smiles mirrored the joy in her heart. As she addressed the audience, she reflected on her journey, the heartbreak of losing her teaching job and the unexpected door that had opened afterward. My story is proof that even the smallest acts of kindness can lead to extraordinary outcomes, she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. We all have the power to make a difference, no matter how small our actions may seem. The crowd erupted into applause. Emily felt a deep sense of fulfillment wash over her. She had come full circle. Fired for helping one child, she was now helping thousands. Her journey had not only transformed her life, but also those of countless children. As the ceremony ended, Jonathan approached her, beaming. This is just the beginning. Emily, together, we're going to change so many lives. Emily smiled, the weight of her past struggles lifting. Her life had taken an unexpected turn, but it had led her exactly where she was meant to be, a place where her kindness could truly shine. If you love this story, tap the like button and subscribe to Life Story for more inspiring narratives like this one. Stay tuned for our next heartwarming tale, and thank you for joining us on this journey.